So today our topic is the fear. Is it possible to get rid of fear? And same time, I know that you all have the different experience, knowledge, wisdom on fear and different situations in your lives, and how you deal with those occasions, situations with fear. So one time I explained you when I was novice monk, and age of 12, 13, 14. So one time how I deal with my fear. So one time in my life I got so much afraid of darkness and walking at night. Then what I did was walking at night to get rid of my fear. Because there is nothing in that darkness. The same like the daylight. Only our perceptions are different. This is light, this is darkness. I love light, I am afraid of darkness. Only perceptions. Are different, but both are same. Pretty much the similar. You know, some animals, some birds, they love night and they wake up at night and they fly. They find food at night and they sleep daytime. Sometimes they may be afraid of daytime. Then we can see our perceptions very clearly, how deeper, how much they are false. It's the very interesting thing. So sometime some Buddhist teachings, it is difficult to explain, because already we have learned positivity and negativity. Some negativity is positive in Buddhism. As example, the Buddha explained one time 4 fears. 4 fears. The first one, I would say, Paravadhanubhya, it means we are refrained from some activities because we think the society will blame at us. Then we are afraid of doing those things because we have some fear. We are afraid of, because the society is going to blame at us. The Buddha said some people are refrained from those activities just because they have some fear on society. Society will condemn you. Society will make you down. Then some people are not doing those things because of that fear. The next one is dukkati bhaya. The dukkati means hell. So some people think if I do this, I am going to hell. Then some people have fear of hell. Then they are refrained from some actions because they are afraid of hell. They don't want to go to hell and they don't want to suffer there for a long time. You know, for Buddhist people it's kind of interesting, not it is forever. According to cause and effect, according to karma, they only have to be in the hell until they get rid of their bad karma. Then again they may have some more chances to be in higher forms like humans and collect more and more merits. But in some religions it says you go to hell forever. It is not fair. So anyway, the Buddha explained here some people are refrained from some actions, some the verbal, bodily, thinking actions because they are afraid of hell. They don't want to go to hell. Then third one, danda bhaya. It means punishment. When people do some wrong things, bad things, cruel things, the police and government and authority will arrest them and put in the jail and punish them. Some people are afraid of those things. Some people have fear at punishment, police, authority. If I do this, they will punish me and I go to jail for years. The living in a jail is kind of hell. I don't like it. Then some people refrain from those actions because they have fear at punishment. You know, that kind of fear is good, right?
For children. Works good.
Yes, for adults, because they don't want to go to jail, and they can protect their peace of mind, refrain from those actions. They always can protect their peace of mind because of that fear. Then fourth one is the most important one. The fourth one is attavadanu bhiya. It means the blame yourself. Then fourth one is the more powerful. If you do something what you think this is wrong, then your inner blame at you, or you did something wrong, you did something wrong, you did something wrong, like that. And four fears, and we can maintain our peace, happiness. The fourth one is the most important, because the right now, the right here, this moment, your peace and your happiness is the really important. This is kind of the positive fear. Positive fear. Then you follow some certain those things, and then naturally you protect your peace and happiness, and you can live smiling, because you are free from all those fears. And fourth one, the Buddha really appreciated. The fourth one, you don't blame at yourself. On the other side, appreciation. If you do something good, then appreciation comes and joy comes. Oh, you did that. You did that. You did something good. You did something good. Then appreciation comes. Sometimes we can see, even though people do good things, sometimes they have kind of guilty feelings. I don't really understand that kind of thing. It is kind of the mind conditions. Some people do good things, but they have sometimes guilty feelings, and there's no reason for that, because if we help somebody, if we do something good, really we should be happy. When we see somebody is happy, and we really enjoy it, and we really share that happiness naturally. And when we smile, when we laugh, we all share that very naturally. So our all practice, our all meditation is about the change those conditions in our mind and change those conditions in our mind and make disappear our illusion in our mind. The less illusion, more happiness. It says, let go of some, you will experience some peace. And let go of a lot, and you will experience a lot of peace, happiness in your lives. So when we talking about fear, so there was very nice story in a film. So it was about the master and his student. He was a child. So there was a swimming pool, but the newcomers, new trainers, they are not allowed to enter that pool. But one day, the teacher is blind. The master is blind. Then the master called his student and please open the door and go to the pool and just look at inside. Then that student went to the pool and looked inside. Then he saw some bones. So then the same time he saw kind of the narrow path across the pool. Then he said, his teacher, I can see some human bones inside the pool. Then teacher said, because it is filled with acid. If you fall into that pool, that is how you become. Bones. So then teacher said, you have 7 days to practice. You have to cross the narrow bridge across the pool. You have 7 days to practice, to train. So they have the same pool outside with water. So that a student, the train, practiced 7 days. You know, he got really success. And now he can cross that narrow bridge with perfect balance. Now he is not going to fall. Then after 7 days, the teacher called him again to that acid pool. Okay, now it's your time. Cross the pool. He began to shake. he began to shake. Then teacher said, the walk across the pool. His leg began to shake, and with a lot of fear, but he practiced for 7 days, and the other one, with water, he can cross with perfect balance. But here, no, he's shaking and uncomfortable and a lot of fear. If you fell down into the pool, you can see only bones. Then that student began to walk slowly, but he knew his legs and the shaking, and with a lot of fear, and crossing the bridge, and he came to the middle. He knew that he cannot he knew that he couldn't go further, and he felt to acid pool, and teacher laughed. Then he told his student, now this is not acid, this is water. So you were not able to cross this bridge, narrow bridge, just because of your fear. You crossed the other one perfectly because you didn't have fear in your mind. So this is about fear. This all fear of death, fear of unsuccess, fear of losing job, fear of facing to people, fear of talking to people, fear of driving on the highway, fear of sickness, fear of death, fear of relations, fear of children. The people cannot make them success because of that fear. They think they are going to fall down into acid water, but it is not acid. It is just water. The sickness and death, all of those things are part of our lives and pretty much natural process. The Buddha invites you to realize those things. If you realize those things, you just fall down into water. If you don't realize those things, you just falling down to acid. Acid is so much painful. The water is joyful. The water is so much joy. And you play in in the water. According to the Buddhism, you came here, you are on this planet just because you died somewhere. According to the some other belief, you are all are nice people and you are going to heaven. Heaven is a very good place, lot of fun. Yeah. So one time a person asks Ajahn Brahm, he's a monk, and asks Ajahn Brahm, some people don't believe reincarnation. What we can do? Then he said, nothing to do. So you are going to be born again. They are not going to be born again. Don't worry. But life is something so relaxed. Life is something so much the joyful. But one thing, the heart should be flowering. How it is possible? The many ways. It is possible. And we are talking about forgiveness, loving kindness, compassion, generosity, morality, wisdom. All of those things part of your happiness. That's how one's heart is flowering. So one time, Ajahn Brahm shared a story. When he visit some other countries like Japan, Thailand, and people offer gift, and he said he's not going to open those things and just put in the bag and just bring them to airport. So sometime, if somebody think it may contain some drugs inside them, then the customer, when the authority, when they clear those things, sometimes they ask, what kind of stuff do you have inside your bag? Then he doesn't know what kind of stuff inside the bag. Then he said it is possible. Then this is what is important. Somehow, if we had to go to jail because of any mistakes that occurred there, he said, I am happy. Because he said, at the temple I have 1.5 meal a day, but in the prison 3 times. So he said, I don't have a television at the temple, but in the prison there are television. I can watch television. I don't have newspapers at the temple. In the prison he can have newspapers. Not only that, he can play footballs and other sports. Being a monk, you can play such games and those things. Your attitudes change your life. And you decide yourself, this is positive, this is negative. Something you think this is negative in my life, it can be positive in some other lives. Because these are all about perceptions. These are all about attitudes. And the meditation practitioners and monks, they are friendly with fear. They enjoy fear. They love fear because the fear is a thought, exactly like other thoughts. Fear is just a thought, exactly like others. The only thing, the people want to push it out. That's terrible. That's battlefield. Otherwise, it will disappear itself. The same like other thoughts. You have fresh mind when you wake up in the morning. Sometime daytime we have kind of negative thoughts in our mind, but in the morning all disappear and we wake up with fresh mind. The fear is also like that. But we are fear at fear. We are very concerned. We are very concerned. We give more attention, more power to the fear. That's how it's growing in the mind like a big force. Otherwise, it is just a thought. The same like others. They think like the 10 thoughts are crossing your mind, the one by one, and you think, oh, this is good, this is awesome, this is bad, I hate this, I love this, like that. We give value. We give value on those thoughts. Otherwise, it will pass itself. Thanks for listening. Any comments, questions? Would you like to share your knowledge, wisdom, experience? And this is time for you.
I like with what you just said, in your mind, whatever you pay attention to grows. So if you're paying attention to the fear grows. If you pay attention to the silence grows.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
So today at the senior center, police came, and Priya, her backpack stolen, and so a lot of fear, because I have my money, my credit card, my car keys, my SIN number, and very upset. And we would say, normal. But while you're talking, really no need for fear. Inconvenience, you have to replace all those items. It's frustrating and inconvenient. But in the senior center, she's very safe. No one hurt her. She's okay that way. But police come and check up and see where did someone come inside and steal something, take it away, like that. But we can see from another side, from outside, oh, you're okay, you'll be all right, don't have fear. But when it's you, your own self experiencing that, it all comes up. Right? We forget about meditation, we forget about our practice. So it's a very, like a tsunami sometimes. So we have to keep our practice every day. Otherwise, those thoughts, those fears, they just wash us away. But myself, I have also lost my purse. And here I am. I didn't die. But at the time, perception, right? You might as well fall into acid. We give it lots of value.
Yeah.
And still we feel bad for Priya. We don't want her to lose anything. Yeah.
Any comments, questions, stories you want to share?
For me, I feel, fear, it gives you sort of a power to make, it gives you, and you have to react either in a positive way or in a negative way, because it sort of gives you something to think about it, and you can go either way, right? And I've been both ways. I can just tell you that, and then you sort of, your mind, you have to just remind yourself, no, it will get better. So it's in some ways it's a power to react, and you have a choice to make that, which side you want to go. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, my daughter has a lot of fear about going to bed and monsters. And you gave me a good perspective on how to talk to her about it, because I find when I do talk to her, I'm always thinking, don't worry about it, try not to think about it. And then I think if I just look at it in your perspective and I talk to her like that, like it's just a thought, it's like any other thought, it'll go away. Try not to think about it too much. It'll just pass like all your other thoughts. And if I can talk to her like that and have her see that perspective, it might help her in dealing with her fears and the dark and monsters. So that's giving me a good perspective.
There's a book I'm reading too. It's called You're Not Your Brain. So it distinguish between thought impulses and true self. So the awareness behind that stays the same. But it's good practice. It's into neuroplasticity, but it's a good book. You're Not Your Brain. It's interesting.
Neuroplasticity is the science that's catching up with how meditation works.
Mm. I was going to mention maybe have your daughter watch Monsters, Inc.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Might help.
Yeah.
I like to say monsters. I love saying monsters.
You're in luck. It's monster season. All over Windsor, you can go up and down the street and see all the houses, monster houses. In that way, I think some people, they get the joke about fear.
Yes.
That it can be a lot of fun.
You don't want to hear my theory.
What's your theory, Jared?
No, you don't want to hear it.
Then don't say don't want to hear it. Let me hear it. Come on.
Well, then that saying about yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil.
Because you're the meanest person
Because
in
I'm the biggest, meanest mother in this valley.
Yeah. You're bigger than fear.
Yes. Okay, thanks for your questions and comments and stories. And we share wisdom, happiness, peace.